Okay, going live. Going live. Who do we got? David Ha'ivri, Boker Tov. Well, it's not Boker Tov for you, so hope all's well with you. We're going to start in a minute. What else? Who else we got? We have Gracie again. Hello, Gracie. Again, Gracie, I love you tagline. Loving God with all my heart, mind, and strength. That's awesome, Gracie. Keep it strong. All right, we're going to get going. Today, we're going to be talking about Obama on Israel. And I come out pretty strong. I basically say Obama's against Israel. Thanks, Gracie. Boker Tov to you. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. Very much so. I really do. There's exciting stuff doing all this stuff. Okay, here we go. Just recently, past ambassador to Israel, Michael Oren, came out with an editorial in the Washington Post, I guess. Yeah. And it's basically a promo for his new book. That his whole book is basically talking about his memoirs as ambassador to the United States, the Israeli ambassador to the United States, which he just recently finished a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. In any case, Michael Oren is very clear, very, very clear in his article, and then he gets much clearer in his book. He says, while both America and Israel are responsible for mistakes, right? Everyone makes mistakes. Every leadership makes mistakes. Every country makes mistakes. It's really the Obama administration that has been deliberate in separating the ways and doing things deliberately against the strong relationship that always has been traditionally held between America and Israel. Now, I've always held this. I've believed Obama has not been bad for Israel, but bad for the world since before his first election. And I thought it was clear enough after his first 4 years that enough people would see it for not to be elected the second time. But people have gotten away with the Obama charm. He says the right things, even though he's not necessarily saying the truth. And David Ha'ivri says, over the past 2 days, my appreciation for Michael Oren has surged. I agree. I think he's more of an enigma than before. I still don't agree with him joining Kachlon, and I think it says a lot that he joined a political party and he's now in the Knesset. Just for Gracie's and anyone else who's here for their knowledge. And Kachlon has not supported him in what he's just come out and saying. But for Michael Oren, yes, I've come out with a little more appreciation for him as well, coming publicly here. In any case, so Michael Oren basically has publicly said that the Obama administration has been deliberate in separating the ways and doing things that have not been good for the relationship between Israel and the United States. Now, I'm going to put Israel aside. I'm a huge believer that you could figure out Obama's ways and if Obama is good or not, or his foreign policy direction, by looking at other countries and other foreign policy directions he has taken America in and putting Israel aside. After we see all these other things, we could then refocus and get clarity on Israel. Okay, I see that, Gracie. Very funny. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's look at the other countries. What are the other countries? Let's start with Egypt. Egypt was a strong ally of the United States. Okay, a strong ally, a strong Middle East ally, one of the strongest countries in the Middle East, is an American ally. Obama threw Egypt under the bus. And it wasn't just with the revolution, which we'll touch in a second. Even before the revolution, Obama was openly supportive of the Muslim Brotherhood getting more of a voice and more power in Egypt. Now, listen clearly. The Muslim Brotherhood was outlawed in Egypt at the time. Outlawed. It's an illegal movement because it is a danger to the to the Egyptian regime, to the Egyptian governance. It is known to be an internal problem for Egypt because Well, we'll put it aside. It doesn't make a difference because Obama comes to Egypt, I think it was 2008, and he insists that when he speaks, the Muslim Brotherhood not just be present in the auditorium that is his speech is being given to the elite of Egypt, but they should be in the front rows. Meaning, understand clearly, okay? Obama comes to a foreign country. He insists that an illegal movement, that the representatives of an illegal movement should be present for his speech and should get prominent attention in that speech. Obama shocked Egypt. He basically pulled a stunt that made Egypt go against its laws. He forced Egypt to go against its own laws to allow illegal people to be present. What leader does that? What leader does that to a foreign country? What leader does that to an ally? It's horrendous. And then jump ahead to the revolution. The Egyptian revolution basically was very much strongly supported by this illegal Muslim Brotherhood. And Obama supported it. Now, many of us were supporting for more democratic rights of the Egyptian people in Egypt. But follow it through. And if you go back in the history books just from a few years ago, the democratic rights were then trampled upon because who was elected due to the revolution in Egypt? The Muslim Brotherhood. Again, that same Muslim Brotherhood that was illegal under Mubarak's regime, an American ally. So you see, case number one, Egypt. Obama was supportive of an illegal anti-American ally movement in an allied country that brought about the downfall of our ally and then brought to power that illegal power that the Muslim Brotherhood in a very short second is not just a threat to Egypt and to the Middle East and the Muslim world, but a threat to the world. It wants to bring Sharia law to the world, to America, destroy America from within, yada, yada, yada. So Obama was supportive of this Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, so much so that when they were overthrown in Egypt, still to this day, a few years later, Obama does not support the Egyptian regime. He has pushed Egypt into the hands of Russia, and America no longer has a strong relationship with Egypt, or Egypt no longer has a strong relationship with America. Why? Because Obama sided with the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt. It's clear, white and black. Go into the newspapers, go into the media reports, see where the situation of Egypt is today. Obama sided with the Muslim Brotherhood, and still today, just a few days ago, I think, he went publicly saying he has remorse for what is happening to the Muslim Brotherhood leader of Egypt, Morsi. All right? That's public record. That's case number one. How Obama threw Egypt under the bus and supported an illegal and anti-American group in Egypt. Okay, one. Number two, let's go to revolution number two. The same time period as the Egyptian revolution, there was the public outcry and revolution in Iran. Now, first of all, what's the difference between Egypt and Iran? Egypt was an ally that Obama threw under the bus in support of the illegal Muslim Brotherhood. Iran is an enemy of America that calls for the death of America. That is allies in South America and Central America were able to put rockets and missiles there in order to one day attack America. Iran, okay? Iran is an enemy of America. Okay, David Avery is writing, and all of you are welcome to comment, ask questions, but I wonder what Obama has done for oppressed bloggers and women in Saudi Arabia. Great question, David. We're going to get to that in a minute. Right now we're focused on Iran, and then we're going to get to Saudi Arabia. There was a revolution in Iran. The people were clamoring for democratic rights and the overthrow of the theocratic mullahs of Iran that give no rights to the Iranian citizens. Correct? Anyone who cares about changing Iran, well, if you don't want to use military, what's the best way to change the Iranian system and get rid of the mullahs? From an internal revolution, from the people, from the ground up. Let the people bring about the revolution. They started the revolution. It was called the Green Revolution. Guess what Obama did to help the Iranian people? And again, Egypt, he was supporting the revolution. He said we have to support the rights of the Egyptian people, so we have to support the revolution in Egypt. When it came to Iran, Obama did nothing. He allowed the Iranian people to be slaughtered in the streets of Iran. The mullahs, the theocratic mullahs, the non-democratic elected, the Sharia, Shiite, radical regime of Iran, Obama gave a carte blanche to do anything they wanted, to put down their own people, murder, execute their own people, jail their own people. Obama did nothing to help the revolution in Iran. So let's look at the hypocrisy right there in front of our noses. We have Egypt, Egypt, an ally that Obama threw under the bus and supported the illegal, radical, Sunni Muslim Brotherhood to overtake the country. And then we come to case number 2. Where's the hypocrisy? Iran, an enemy of America and the world, that the Shiite radicals of the world that oppresses their own people. Obama did not support them in their revolution and was silent. He said, I support how the Iranians deal with the situation, and that allowed for the extreme, violent put down of the Green Revolution and the young people in Iran, and allowed for the continuation of the theocratic, non-democratic, non-equal human rights oriented Iranian regime that is a danger to the world. Okay, so now we went through case number 1, how Obama acted with Egypt, siding with the enemy, the Muslim Brotherhood. Now case number 2, Iran, how he sided with the enemy, Iran, and not supporting the people of Iran in their revolution. Case number 3, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is an ally of America. Now, David Avery opened up a very big issue that Saudi Arabia itself is a human rights abuser that America doesn't deal with, and doesn't deal with the issues of the human rights abuse of Saudi Arabia against its own citizens. But we're going to put that aside for a second, because regardless of that, Saudi Arabia is an ally of the United States. So you'd think, using normal diplomatic protocol, that when Saudi Arabia, or if Saudi Arabia would be in trouble, America would side with it against its enemies. Well, the biggest enemy of Saudi Arabia is, drum roll please, Iran. So, again, put Israel out of the equation. The current talks between the Obama administration and Iran, allowing Saudi Arabia to have its nuclear capabilities, or the capabilities to develop nuclear weapons, the biggest threat is to Saudi Arabia. Guess who's going crazy that their ally is helping their enemy? Saudi Arabia is going nuts. So much so is Saudi Arabia going nuts and upset at the Obama administration for talking with Iran instead of getting rid of their capabilities for nuclear weapons, that Saudi Arabia, an enemy of Israel, is now allying with Israel for this instance of trying to deal with the problem of Iran. Okay? So now, this whole conversation is about Obama against Israel. Can you understand this right now? Put Israel aside. Obama has taken steps that have pushed an enemy of Israel to ally with Israel against Obama's policy vis-a-vis Iran. Okay, so now we have 3 cases. Egypt, Obama sided with the Muslim Brotherhood, which is against America and freedom. 2, Iran. Obama sided with Iran in putting down the people in the Green Revolution. Okay? So he sided with the enemy. 3, in the case of Saudi Arabia, he's siding with Iran and not Saudi Arabia. Track record, people. Let's look at the track record. Obama's track record is clear. He is siding with the radical Sunni regimes, the radical Sunni movements, the Muslim Brotherhood, the radical Shiite regimes, Iran, and one after another he is throwing his allies under the bus. Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and he's siding with Iran. So can't one understand more clearly that he has also thrown Israel under the bus? The track record is clear. Michael Oren, in his article in the Washington Post, and what he goes into more clearly and detailed in his book, I'm sure, and his book is called Allied, and I'm going to pick it up and read it, so I'm sure everyone should. He brings in the details of how one time after another, Obama goes against American policy vis-a-vis Israel, American protocol vis-a-vis Israel, surprises Israel with one bad thing after another that's harming the relationship. And yet people are silent. Obama's a charmer. He knows what to say. And this is another thing. I'm very, very positively shocked and impressed with something Michael Oren says. A lot of people who say that they support Israel, but they're big supporters of Obama, have always said, but Obama does so much for Israel. You can't say he's against Israel. You can't say he's doing bad things for Israel. He's given so much money for Israel defense projects, for the Iron Dome. He does so much. The defense spending has grown under Obama. So Michael Oren touches upon this point in his book. And he says clearly, Obama knows to do things that basically put Israel in a catch-22. He gives them the candy every once in a while to make it look like he's helping the Israel-American relationship. But in truth, he keeps on digging against Israel little by little. But he does what's necessary in supporting whatever military projects to make it look like he's still a strong supporter of Israel. And that's the brilliance of Obama. See, I don't think Obama is stupid. I don't think Obama is making mistakes or bumbling along with his strategy. I think Obama is brilliant. I think his administration is brilliant. I think he's had a strategy since before he started office, foreign policy for the world, for the Middle East, for Israel. And he knows what he's doing, and it's all going according to a plan. The problem is, the plan is not good for the American people. The problem is not good for freedom-loving people all over the world. The problem, and what he's doing, the problem is it's not good for Israel. So I am thankful that Michael Oren has come out like this. I am hopeful that people will read his book, read what he's saying. He is the past ambassador, Israeli ambassador to the United States of America. He knows what was going on. He knows what was going on in Washington. He knows what was going on in the White House. He's a fly on the wall of what's going on. He might not know everything, but he knows more than any of the rest of us. And if he's coming out publicly saying that the Obama administration has had animosity and done things to harm the relationship between America and Israel, I'm listening. And I think everyone else should be listening too. And you know what? I care about Israel. Right? Obviously, I live in Israel. I care about Israel. But I care about Israel not just for Israel. It's because I care about humanity. Humanity right now is on the front line. The radical jihad is on the march. And President Obama has shown one time after another that he is siding with the radical jihad instead of siding with freedom-loving people like you and me all over the world. So anyone who cares about freedom all over the world, in your own countries, in America, in Canada, Australia, in Israel, Europe, anywhere, if you're a freedom-loving country, Obama does not have your back. He says he has Israel's back, but enough of us who are thinking people see through his track record to understand he does not have Israel's back. He just says that in order to keep Jews and other Israel supporters to support him through his policies and believing him just based on his rhetoric and his smile. But he does not have the back of anyone who is freedom-loving. And all one has to do is look at his track record. And not even at Israel, just look at his track record in foreign policy. And again, the biggest hypocrisy is his policy vis-a-vis Egypt and Iran. It's there black and white. Black and white. He supported the Muslim Brotherhood, an anti-American organization out to destroy America from within, which it is doing, little by little, again under the radar. And then in Iran, he supported Iran and did not support the people who the Green Revolution to change Iran. So that's today's Israel Straight Talk. Everyone stay on top of what's going on. Stay on top of the headlines. Stay on top of the nuances. So stay on top of the nuances of the American policy, the foreign policy of Obama. Things are not pretty, but if enough of us who are on top of what's really going on behind the rhetoric and the smiles of the Obama administration, maybe we could wake up more and more people. That's it for Israel Straight Talk today. Anyone has any comments or questions? We have Gracie here saying, I agree with you 100%. What a great stream. Thanks for all the great info. You are welcome, Gracie. Any comments or questions, follow on Twitter, @AviAbelow. Follow on Meerkat. We try to do this every day, trying to get information out there, trying to help you. Any specific questions or comments, let us know. Otherwise, we will continue trying to look at the headlines and see how we can better inform, be better informed, be better educated to help everybody else out there. Shalom, Jerusalem, Israel, in my hearts, hopefully in your hearts. Let's make this world, a better place by sticking with the truth. All the best. Have a great day, everyone.